Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's session of the Counselor's Corner. My name is Ruth Benro, your favorite counselor. So let's dive into this week's topic, one that is very important to our hearts: self-esteem. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at how we can help our teenagers build healthy self-esteem. As parents, we would want our children to feel confident, to be capable, to be bold, But sometimes we see them struggling with self-doubt. We see them compare themselves with others. Could be your girl, she's comparing her color with her friend, her size with her friend, her nose, her eyes, her hair, the things she has, right? Other boys too. Or they have this feeling and then they're always voicing that they're not good enough. Self-esteem. Why we need to understand self-esteem as parents, right? Now, understanding self-esteem is essential for helping our teen navigate their lives. Self-esteem. Of course, we know that the teen years is a challenging one, and then they need to navigate this part with so much confidence if they will turn out to be people who will be proud of, right? Now, when a teen has and held this self-esteem, they believe in their self-worth. And then, of course, this in turn makes them to make better choices and are more resilient children. But low self-esteem can cause them to doubt themselves, cause them to avoid challenges, and then they would struggle emotionally. Now, so what is self-esteem? What is self-esteem? Right? And then, of course, it's simple. Self-esteem is how we view and value ourselves. So, how do you view yourself? How do you see yourself? What value do you place on yourself? That is self-esteem. And it is that inner voice that tells us that we are worthy, capable, and enough. That is if it is healthy. So it means therefore that if you do not have an healthy dose of self-esteem, then of course the reverse will be the case. So self-esteem is that inner voice that tells us whether we are worthy or not, capable enough, enough or not. Now, that is to you, dear parents. So to our teenagers, to the children in your care, their teacher or educator, self-esteem simply is how these teenagers see themselves. How do they value themselves? I keep saying that no one will place a value higher than the value that you have placed on yourself. I repeat it again. No one will place a value on you higher than the value that you have placed on yourself. So if our teenagers do not place so much value on themselves, what do you think will happen to them? Of course, we see that self-esteem will affect how they approach school, friends, relationships around them, their project. It will affect their decision-making process. And then, of course, their future goals. Self-esteem. Now, I need you to mirror self-esteem, right, as having two parts: healthy self-esteem and low self-esteem. But the beautiful thing is, you can be in this place today. You could have low self-esteem today and can move, you can build your self-esteem, and then you have unhealthy self-esteem. Self-esteem is not static. With patience, with personal development, of course, with positive affirmations, you can move from low self-esteem to healthy self-esteem. On the other hand, someone who has unhealthy self-esteem can life can happen to that person, right? Can experience traumas, failure, and then if not well handled, can drift to low self-esteem, right? Now, what are the signs, dear parents? What are the signs that you should watch out for, right? To knowing if your child or your teenager has a healthy self-esteem or a low self-esteem. Now, let's go with signs of the healthy self-esteem teenager, a teenager who has healthy self-esteem. How would you know that? So as I call out this checklist, I want you to picture your child. I want you to picture your teenager, and then tell me at the end, right, if they fall under those who have healthy self-esteem or those who have low self-esteem. So for healthy self-esteem, is your teenager willing to try new things, even if they might fail? There's this project, there's this adventure. Are they ready to try new things? So a teenager who has a healthy self-esteem will be willing to try things even if they will fail at it. Mm. Two, are they able to accept constructive criticism without feeling worthless? Some teenagers do not know how to accept feedback. You're telling them that you've not done something well or you should have done it, and then they just feel, I cannot be good at anything. So if your teenager is able to accept criticism without feeling worthless, then of course they have an healthy self-esteem. Is your child able to express their needs and emotional concerns confidently? Are they confident? You want to answer that question? Of course, if they express it well, they have healthy self-esteem. Does your teenager have a balanced view of strength and weakness? You know, some teenagers should meet what are your strengths, and then they'll just come, they tell you strength, what are your weakness, and they feel they don't have one or they are perfect beings. You want to check that. Now, but a teenager who has an healthy self-esteem will tell you these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, these are my areas of improvement. And trust me, they will be able to play to their strength while they are working on their areas of improvement, what we call weakness. So, can your teenager say no when necessary? Can they set healthy boundaries? That's number five, right? So, if your teenager can set healthy boundaries, they can say no when necessary, and of course, they have an healthy self esteem. Do they believe in their worth, even when they make mistakes? Mistakes are part of life. And I made a mistake in one exam, in one event, does not make me a failure. Now, so I am still Ruth, even if I fail an exam. I am still Ruth, even if I don't do so well in a particular aspect of my life. So, do they believe in their worth? One event should not make you feel worthless, right? Are your teens capable of handling challenges? If yes, and of course that child, that teen has an healthy self-esteem. Can they also express their opinions? Mm. So I usually say that this self-esteem, of course, starts in the house. Starts from your room. You know how we say charity begins at home? Yes. Self-esteem, healthy one, begins at home. If your child cannot make those little decisions in your house, they can't say no to you in the house. If they cannot air their opinions in the house, who do you think will give them the chance to air outside? Of course, they've always been silent in the house, and of course, they can as well be silent outside. So we'll come to that. Right. And then, of course, do they easily bounce back when they fail? Again, failure is not an end of life. So when your teenager fails, how do they bounce back? Are they resilient enough? Now, if you have answered yes to all of these or most of these, then of course your child has an healthy self-esteem. 18 with low self-esteem would feel that they are not good enough. So no matter how what they do, no matter how the efforts they are putting into their work, they just feel they are not good enough. Just feel that. And they just feel, I wish I was this person. I wish I was a little fairer. I wish I was a little taller. I wish my nose was a little pointed. I wish my hair wasn't as big. You just feel something. I wish my handwriting. You just have a complaint, sure. Right? So if they feel they are not good enough, then of course they have low self-esteem. Do they struggle to accept compliments or believe in their strength? You're telling them, well done, you've done amazing work, and like, okay, I just did it like that. Or you're telling a girl you're beautiful, or the boy you answer someone like, beautiful kid. So if they struggle to accept compliments, of course they have a low self-esteem. If they do not even know their strength or believe in the strength they have, and of course, they have low self-esteem. They doubt their abilities. They doubt their abilities constantly. They avoid challenges, anything that will remove them from their comfort zone, anything that would stress them a little, like they don't want. They constantly compare themselves to others and feel inferior. Constantly. You hear them talking about their friends, what they have, constantly. That's a key word here, right? Are they overly critical of themselves or frequently apologize? Because they feel they're not worthy, they don't value themselves. So any small thing, they just keep apologizing. And then when they want to criticize themselves today, oh Lord, you know how something happens to your friend and your friend comes to you for advice, and then you're able to tell the friend, don't worry, you failed or something happened, sorry. I know you bounce back, you're strong. But when it happens to them, nah, the world must come to an end. So to tell you, do you extend grace to yourself when you do not do so well in something? Self-esteem. Do they struggle to make decisions or they have fears making mistakes? Mistake is part of life, right? Someone said, when I fail at something, and of course I've just learned one way not to do that thing. The mindset thing, right? Yes. Then does your team seek excessive validation from others? It just so they have something in mind. You know how you want to say something, a teacher had a question, you raise up your hand. You want to raise up your hand, but you're not so sure. If your teenager is always passing little information to you for you to double check, just want to be extra sure. Why? They don't want to make that mistake. They don't want people to laugh at them. They don't feel it's correct. Then of course you want to watch out for that. Right? Are they always withdrawing socially? You are outside with your friends, and then you're on one corner by yourself. You don't want to associate with people. You want to question that. It's a difference between shyness and low self-esteem. Yes, there's a difference between shyness and low self-esteem. Don't worry, I'll do a video on that to just show you the difference between shyness and low self-esteem, so that you know you're shy, and then you're in a place. After a while, when you're comfortable, you come out and then you will blend. But people who have low self-esteem, because they feel they are not good enough, they feel they do not measure up, they will remain where they are. Okay, so let's continue. Now, if you've noticed any of the signs, but healthy, then of course, well done. But hey, if most you have said yes to the signs for low self-esteem for your teenager or your child, then of course, it just means that there's more work that needs to be done. There's no need to fear or panic, right? Self-esteem is not fixed. I've established that. So with your patient, with empathy, you need to be intentional. Support them as a parent, a teacher, get caregiver, or whosoever represents in their life. We play a big role there, parent. We do. Don't forget that you're your teenagers' first influencers. Yes, you're their first role model, so you have a big role to play. So if you want to shape your teen's self-esteem, then you want to watch your words, your actions, and then of course the environment we create at home. This has a lot to play in building their self-esteem. Now, why do some things struggle with self-esteem? Why do some things struggle with low self-esteem? And so many things can contribute to teenagers' self-esteem, right? Number one on the list would be comparison and social media influence. Today's world, of course, is different from when we were teenagers. We both agree, right? Yes. So they constantly they are exposed to the perfect image on social media. When did social media become a yardstick? That's like on that day, right? But this idea of being perfect picture, no sports, clean car, clean environment, clean school, award here, award there, competition here, you were winning, all of that put pressure, right, on our teenagers. And then they want to compare themselves to the influencers, they're comparing themselves to celebrities and even friends, which may make them feel inadequate. So social media, Comparison, they say, is a thief of joy, and I agree, right? Amazing. Number two, the academic and performance pressure. Yes, there's things, of course, everyone wants to pass. I agree. Even you want to pass, we want to be tops, want to do well in academics. And so when we are not top in the class, we're putting in maybe so much effort and then we're not seeing it. Then, of course, once we struggle, and then our effort is not like the results we put in, then, of course, there's a tendency that it will reduce a child's self esteem, right? So there's that fear of failure, there's that anxiety, there's that stress. Academic pressures, performance pressure can cause a teenager to have low self esteem. Now, number three is parental influence and home environment. Again, what role is your home playing in building your child's self esteem? Your home bringing it down or helping it to become better? Now, when as parents we frequently criticize our children, we expect high expectations from them, but then we do not encourage them enough, of course, we can lower their self esteem. Some of us, our results, secondary school, primary school, we cannot bring it out. Let me leave that. But we constantly want our children to be tops. We are comparing them. The person that came out first, or the person had three heads. And see your mate, she had 7 heads in one head. This one had 352 in jump. What about you? Hey, I agree. Our kids should do so well. We should give them expectations. And then they should even beat expectations. I agree. But you should know the strength of your child. You know the kind of child that you have. So do not put unnecessary pressure on these children. Yes. So if we frequently criticize them, and then we begin to call them names, I don't want to mention any of that, right? And of course, what do you think? If in the eyes of that teenager, my father feels I'm worthless, my mommy thinks I'm not good enough, hey, who is going to build the self-esteem for that child? Hello. Okay. So as parents, we need to watch what we do. We need to watch it. The home front is very key to building healthy self-esteem in that child, right? So while you are pushing them to be high, um, good, brilliant student, is the home environment, is it giving them all the resources they need? You know that child is struggling. What have you done? Do you know your child learning style? Have you given them an extra tutor to build them? So if you know your child, then don't put that. I think that's where I'm going to. So you connect with your child, you know your child first before you start demanding academic pressure. So I'm making it to number two now. So know that child, and then of course help them build self-esteem. Okay, and then source, don't be a source of degrading their self-esteem. Number four would be peer pressure and friendship. Peer pressure will always be there. Every one of us, even as adults, we want to be loved, we want to feel seen, we want to feel heard. A teenager also loves to be seen heard. So if your teenager is being bullied in school, they're excluded from an activity, they have that who is your dad gang, you don't measure up to us, please talk to the ears, our hands, and honestly, and all of that. If your teenager is being bullied, either physically, verbally, cyberly, that's cyberbullying, right? Emotionally, socially, financially, right? And of course, you want to pay attention to that. Mm. A child who is being bullied will not have an healthy self-esteem constantly, right? Okay, so on the other hand, we know that positive friendship can build self-esteem. I know friends who do competition. Yes, you know how this one will talk maths, this one is talking English. So we have good friends too. And not every peer pressure it's negative, right? We have positive ones too. Okay, so number five, and the last one we're talking about today, factors that can reduce a child's self-esteem will be personal struggles, past failures, trauma, or mistakes. The child who is struggling with things, child who has failed and has refused to know that failure is part of life. Maybe because mommy and daddy has portrayed that you cannot fail in this house. Nah, then of course after repeated failure can reduce their The self-esteem, trauma, people who have gone through things. Mm, yes, traumatic experience can reduce a child's self-esteem. Because once all of this happens to them, they feel they're not good enough. Why did it happen to them? Oh my God, am I the only one in this world that, why bad things happening to me? Why am I the one failing? You know, and then this will make them not want to try out new things. With that, over time, of course, you see that their self-esteem will be reduced. Now that you understand factors that can reduce your child's self-esteem, let's go to the main work here. So how can you, their parent, how can you, their teacher, guardian, educator, help your teen, help that student with you, help your child build healthy self-esteem? Number one would be praise effort, not just results. You see your child reading. Exam is in 3 months, is in 2 months. But this child has been reading. The child has a project. And then you see the child doing something. Don't just wait till the end result. Praise the process. Praise them for trying and not just succeeding at the end. Instead of saying you're too smart or you're so smart, try saying I'm proud of how hard you worked on that project. I'm proud of how intentional you are in studying your books. Now, of course, this teaches that effort is valuable. Effort is valuable, even if the outcome is imperfect, right? And of course, teach them that effort matters, really, more than perfection. So, what effort is your child putting into schoolwork, into their activities, into their it could be the skills they are learning? So, please celebrate, praise their efforts, and not just the result. Number two, you want to teach them positive self talk. A teenager who has low self-esteem most times will say negative words. You want to help them with that cognitive restructuring, changing the negative thoughts, the negative, words they always say to something positive. And one way you can do that is through positive affirmations. So if you hear your child saying, I can't do this, you want to tell them you can do it. You're strong, you're bold, you're enough. You will do your best. And that's enough. I always feel you want to change it that I learn from my mistakes and improve. Mistakes are part of life. I will learn from my mistakes and I will improve. So you want to sit down and craft so many positive words, especially when you know the words they say. You want to help them change it from negative words to positive words. Don't forget that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if your child is thinking negative thought or belittling themselves, then of course that's who they are. You want to help them change that. Number three, you want to encourage independence and decision making from the house. Let them make age appropriate decisions, even if they make mistakes. Some of us, we still tell our teenagers the kind of clothes to wear to church or outings. We still tell them what to do, you know? Allow them make there's some decisions they can make. Okay, so we want to prepare dinner. What's for dinner? Who is going? Small, small, small. Let them start. Let them start. A child who cannot make little decisions would find it difficult in making decisions that are big, right? Now, so that's small events in the house, extracurricular activities, or they are quarreling among themselves or have conflict among themselves with their friends or even with their siblings. Allow them settle it. And you know what? You could just come in as a guardian and tell them, after observing, don't be in their face and not be an helicopter parent that's always, wanting to correct, please let them be. Because once they can develop that decision making skills, then of course it will help them. Once they also build their confidence in the abilities to make good choices, they will make better choices. Number four would be a role model for confidence and self-compassion. Our children learn, right, by watching us. We agree. Now, so if you speak kindly to yourself, they will learn to do so. So you should also avoid negative self-talk. When you come back from work, when you're frustrated at something, when something does not go the way you plan, how do you receive it? What message do you pass across? So do you say I've made a mistake, but okay, I think I have learned one way not to do that thing. I'll do better next time. or you criticize yourself and you even insult yourself in their presence, and then you want them to do something different when it's their turn. No, 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 no. Things learn by watching. So watch what you do, how you act, what you behave, what you say when you make a mistake or when things are not going as you planned it to be. Okay. Number five would be that you create a safe space for failure. In the last two episodes of our talk, you'd hear me talk about safe space. Is your home a safe space for your teenager? Now let the teenagers know that it's okay to fail, that mistakes are part of growth. When they fail, don't scold them harshly. Instead, ask, what did you learn from this? What can you do differently next time? Create a safe space for failure. Yes. Let them know that it's okay to fail. Like, you know how some of us have we have painted this perfect picture for our children that you have never failed. That all from US, from how you were small till now, you have not failed any course, you have just been so good, amazing, and all of that. When they know that mommy has failed and this is what she did, daddy didn't really do well in his workplace or while he was in school, but he was able to handle that. What do you think would it do to them? When they are in such situations, they remember that mommy has experienced this thing. My teacher said something when she was teaching. Those little stories, when we share stories of how we have failed, but learn from the experience, and of course would help them. Right? So create a safe space. Teach them that failure is a stepping stone to success. Instead of reacting negatively when they fail, ask, what did you learn from this? There is a lesson from every failure. There is a lesson from every mistake. Right? So when you create a home environment where effort is valued, mistakes are learning opportunity, and self-worth is not based on achievement, very key. Self-worth is not based on achievement. And of course, your teen's self-esteem will grow. Number six, help them discover their strength. Did I talk about strength? Do they know their strength? Help them. Support them in exploring different activities from sports, art, music. Of course, they could even volunteer. When they find something that they enjoy and feel competent in, something they enjoy and feel competent in, their confidence would grow. And once their confidence grows, it builds up their self esteem. So, what is the strength of your teenager? Help them to discover their strength. And the last one for season number seven is celebrate small wins. Do not wait till it's that picture perfect at the end of the term, the end of the section, till they've completed a project. No, celebrate small wins. Celebrate their progress, no matter how small. If they stand up from themselves in the course of the week, if they try out something new, acknowledge it. Once you are able to recognize that feeling, of course, you are reinforcing their belief in themselves. I see you, I see what you've done, amazing work there. You know, I see the efforts, celebrate it, celebrate their progress, no matter how small. And then, as we conclude, I want to challenge you, the parents, this week. Yes, I'm going to put in a challenge to you. Self esteem is like a muscle. The more we nurture it, the stronger it grows. The more we nurture it, the stronger it grows. As parents, you are your child's greatest influence. Your words, your actions, and presence shapes how they view themselves. And the things I want to ask you questions. Two, what message is my child receiving about their self-worth from me? Like if your child looks at you, your actions, your words, what message are you passing across to them? What message are you passing across to them? Are you encouraging or unknowingly discouraging their confidence? Food for thought, their parents, their teacher, their educator, their guardian. Are you encouraging or are you the one discouraging them? That's something you want to watch out for. And then for the challenge of the week, I need you to affirm your teenagers daily. So from today, Monday, another 7 days. So anytime you catch the replay, anytime you're watching this video, another 7 days, I need you to say something that you appreciate about them every day to them. Because if you have children, you want to do this. I love how kind you are to your siblings. I love how you help around in the kitchen. I love how you tidy your. Say something nice every day to your teenager, your child. This week also you're going to encourage bravery. Put them to try something new, whether it's a hobby, speaking up in class, or something. Just just encourage them to do something new this week. And finally, I have overflogged this, but I will say it again. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Focus on their growth instead of just result. So this week, watch out for something they've done or what they are doing, and then celebrate them. Celebrate them. Right. And these little things you do daily, of course, will help your team develop the confidence that they need to thrive. Remember that self-esteem is not built overnight. Now. This progress. This progress. It's a process, right? That requires consistency, encouragement, and patience. The parent, if you would like personalized guidance, yes, on how to help the team build confidence, of course, you want to reach out to your favorite counselor on to good, and I'll be willing to help. Thank you so much for watching this session. If you found this very valuable, please like it, please make a comment. I'd love to read from you. Share to your families and friends, and please subscribe. Okay, until I come your way again in another episode of the Counselor's Corner, have an amazing week. I'm your favorite counselor, Auntie Ruth, and I am the teens counselor that you have been looking for. Bye.